Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Tesla Boomer with Tesla Travels and Stops. Today we're going to discuss a little bit about safety because when you travel, you want to make sure that you're safe in the vehicle that you're driving in. And for this particular segment, how safe exactly is the Model Y? So one of the most important things that I take into account, obviously, with you saw with some of those videos there, is the safety of the vehicle that I'm in. Yes, I look at the safety of the stops that I'm at, and I'll do another video on some of the things I do when I stop to ensure safety. But the vehicle that you're in, and you're in a lot if you're traveling, obviously, on the roads, makes a huge difference in the God forbid case that you would have an accident. The two agencies that I've looked at, and I looked at and researched every single car I've ever bought, whether it was for me, my wife, my kids, friends, are the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety and for the European New Car Assessment Program. Both of these agencies have very, very vigorous tests that they conduct on the vehicles in different scenarios. And then they rate the vehicles, and each rating agency has a little bit different ways to rate them, and I'll go through that here real quickly for the Model Y. The European New Car Assessment Program, I think, has even more vigorous tests than the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, but both play a purpose. And that's what I'm going to take you through today. So what the IIHS does is with those ratings, they look at a couple of areas. They look at crashworthiness, and that involves a small overlap, a moderate overlap, and a side test. They look at crash avoidance and mitigation, and that has to do with headlights and front crash prevention. And then now they also look at seatbelts, and they're looking obviously with seatbelt reminders. We've all seen in the news about the unfortunate situation of sometimes parents and other folks leaving a young child in the car or a dog in the car, but we do have dog mode with Tesla. So they do look at the reminders and the ease of latching the car seat for your kids into that vehicle, and then they'll look at things like blind spot detection, lane departure detection, and other factors that may go into playing to the safety of the vehicle. So as you can see, the results of the testing for the Tesla Model Y is a top safety pick plus. You'll notice in the picture that the model tested was a 2021, and that's because if the structure or change to the car has not been significant, the safety rating can be applicable to several years of the particular model. So the other thing that's interesting to look at is the actual video of the test, and we're going to go through that now with the Model Y. You can see there, that is the offset test front. This is a little bit of a close-up of that test. You can see how the car reacts to the collision. They'll now give you a couple of other angles on the test. This is an overhead shot showing the small frontal offset and how the car reacts to that particular test. This is from the inside of the vehicle. It'll show you the airbags and how the crash dummy reacts during the impact. This is another angle of that smaller offset. You can see, again, airbags, everything doing the job that they need to be doing. Now below the video, you will see some still shots that the IIH has taken after the test. And one of the most important ones is the one that I'm focused on right now. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, but this has to do with the safety cage. So this is the survival space of the vehicle. And you can see as I'm circling around here that this survival space is kept very well intact. And that's what you want to see. Another still that we look at here is how the side airbags and how the front airbag off the steering wheel work together to protect you in a frontal type collision. And you can see in this particular still working very, very well together. And the other still here has to do with your legs. And I'm going to blow this up here too. And you can see the knee airbags down there, but you can see plenty of survival space there in the accident. And these are the type of results that you want to see in a crash test. Now, the other test is really an updated moderate overlap test. And in this case, they're using a 22 Model Y. And as I said before, they can use several years provided that the structure has not changed. But this was really updated to focus on the reaction of the folks that you would have in the back seat to ensure that the restraints and the airbags in the back are doing what they need to do. So let's take a look. So you can see there's the moderate overlap impact. There goes the airbags as designed. And now they're going to give a couple of angles for you to view on the inside of what's going on. You can see there the side airbags covering the areas they need to cover for both the driver and the people in the back. Here again is focused on the back passenger, and you can see the restraints doing their job of preventing that individual from going into the seats in front of them. And the next video is going to show you exactly that. It did its work in keeping that person from colliding with the front seat and even possibly hurting the driver. So that is a good test result. Now, the next video here deals with side impact. And for me, in my personal opinion, being T-boned is probably one of the most dangerous situations in an accident. So let's take a look at how the Model Y performs on this particular test. You can see there's the impact on the side. Now we're going to see angles from inside the vehicle. You can see there, that's what the impact looks like for the driver on this particular side impact test. Another angle showing again, you can see the airbags going off both above and to the side of the crash test dummy. And again, you're getting a good evaluation. Now, as in other videos, they will take stills after the test is concluded to see how the crash test dummies reacted. And you can see here in looking at both the rear seat passenger, which is to the right, and to the driver, which would be to the front, you can see that smear mark. And what you're really looking for there is that their head did not hit any of the pillars. And in both these cases, the car performed very, very well. The airbags and the safety systems, restraint systems performed well, and it protected the driver's head from any type of harsh impact with the pillars. So that was a look at what the IIHS does for their testing and how they go about rating their vehicles. And while the year may say 2024, there's typically a explanation on that test to say, hey, this is good for vehicles from 2020 to whatever date it may be. And in the case of the Model Y, obviously the structure of the vehicle has not changed. So this is good for the first model year to the current model year, all this testing data. So again, with looking at the data from the IIH, you are traveling in a very safe vehicle. So you might be wondering, okay, what does an unsafe vehicle look like? So what I want to just show you here real quickly is what the test looks like when the vehicle is not that safe. And for that particular test, I'm going to show you the current model of the 4Runner. Now, this is not the redesign. I haven't seen the test on the redesign, but prior to the redesign, the Toyota 4Runner, which is a very, very popular vehicle and great off-road, didn't do too well in the test. So as you can see here, the 4Runner did not receive any of the top designations for safety. And if you look a little bit further into the small overlap, they even got a pour on the structure in the safety cage, and that's what I'm going to show you. So let's take a look at this particular video. This is a test of a 2014 4Runner. And as many of you know, they have not changed the structure or the style of that in quite a while till just recently. But let's go ahead and take a look at how this particular vehicle performed in the test. Next, pay attention. We're going to do a slow motion, and I want you to pay attention to how that front pillar bends in. And that intrudes on the survival space. Here's an overhead look. Again, watch that front pillar bend. This is from the inside, and again, watch the pillar bend in front, even with the airbags going off. So basically you have a pretty good intrusion into the survival space. In looking at the stills that were provided after the crash test was taken, I want you to particularly note the survival area. I'm going to blow it up. As you can see, it is really caved in. This is really not a very good crash test result with the survival space caving in. And in particular, I kind of wanted to point out this particular shot. You can see how that pillar bent, and look how the front of the vehicle came in on the crash dummy's legs. Not a situation that you want to be in a crash test. The next rating agency I'd like to share with you is the European New Car Assessment Program. And this agency has much more, in my opinion, rigorous tests to show you in regards to the crash worthiness of the vehicle and its safety. The other site of ratings for vehicles is the European New Car Assessment Program. And this agency, in my opinion, performs even a few more vigorous tests on the structure of the vehicles. They also use a star rating system, 5 stars being the most, down to 1 star, to rate the vehicle's performance in the various tests that they have. So once again, the Tesla Model Y performed extremely well in this particular agency's testing. As you can see, they scored 5 stars, and they did test a 2022 Model Y. You can also see the different areas that they look at. They look at the adult occupancy, child occupant, vulnerable road users, and then the safety assist systems. And you can also see in those tabs below, you can get specifications on the vehicle, what safety equipment is available, the videos that they took during the testing, along with the rating validity. And we will take a look at the video. Now, for the testing that this agency does, it's a little bit longer. So this video is going to run, probably right around 3 minutes, but it's well worth the wait to take a look at the different testing that they do. So I'm going to start it up here. Vehicle tested. And they go over the adult occupant. Basic frontal offset crash, you can see similar to what is done with the IIHS. Once again, Tesla holds up very, very well. That is a direct frontal impact. And you can see once again, the vehicle holds up very, very well. The occupants are protected. That's an overhead shot. The all-important side impact. Once again, it'll take a look at the inside. You can see the airbags even going between the passenger and the driver, protecting both very, very well, and the restraint systems for the occupants in the back seat. This is a very important test, the pull test. This really tests the strength of the structure on a side impact. The one view take a look at that'll come up here shortly is the above view. And that really shows how far the intrusion is in a case like this. And for the Tesla Model Y, it's not bad at all. I've seen the intrusions go in almost halfway on some of the other vehicles. This is a whiplash test. This is testing the restraint system on the seats. So the child occupant, this is a focus obviously on the occupants in the vehicle. It shows here the restraint systems doing what they are intended to do. Again, the side impact probably being the worst impact you can have. Airbags protecting the head of the occupants in the back. It then goes ahead and looks at vulnerable road users. That would be a pedestrian head impact into the window. That would be an upper leg impact into the front of the vehicle. And that being a lower leg impact into the front of the vehicle. It then does it both in the daytime and nighttime. How does the system pick up on someone in front of the vehicle or walking in front of the vehicle? Again, performing very well, making a left turn with someone crossing the street. Someone just popping out in front of a car. How many times have we dealt with that, particularly in neighborhoods? Maybe bicycle riders. They seem to pop out of nowhere at times. And then it looks at the safety assist systems. Car stopped in front of you. Maybe you're not paying attention. You're distracted. Maybe doing something you shouldn't be doing on your phone. Not that it's going to save you every time, but the system is there. Making a left turn and a car is in front of you. Again, maybe you're not paying attention. How does the lane support work? How is you not running off the road work? If you've ever been driving tired, that's been an issue. And there you go. So all this information, and maybe for some of you, it's a lot of information. Maybe for some of you, it's not enough information. They have reports that you can get into on both of these agency sites and read in further detail. If there's not enough information, and you can kind of skip through different things and look at particular focus areas if you just want to look at particular focus areas of the vehicle. Now, will all accidents in the real world happen the way it's tested? Probably not. But there's a good amount that do. And you want to make sure when you're traveling that you're safe, your spouse or significant other is safe, that your kids are safe, that maybe the dogs in the back seat are going to be safe, or whatever you're traveling with. And that's what this type of research provides. Now, there's a lot of controversy out there in some cases about the Model Y, maybe for political reasons or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, the car, in my opinion, is a very, very safe car to drive. Now, with that said, you need to obviously do your own research, go through these sites, utilize the information that's there, download and read the reports. And whether it's your Model Y or you're driving a different vehicle, be it a Model X or a Rivian or whatever the case may be, typically these agencies have reviewed your vehicle, unless it's very, very old. There was not a lot of safety systems, obviously, if you go to a car that's 10 years old or older. But, if your car has been around in the last 5-6 years, they've probably tested it. So there are really good resources within these sites for you to take a look at and make your own determination on whether you think that vehicle is safe and you think that vehicle is one you want to be in. So I hope you enjoyed kind of this review of the safety of the Model Y. My conclusion is it's safe. You need to make your own conclusion, obviously. So this is Tesla Boomer with Tesla Travels and Stops. Stay safe, drive safe, and we'll see you in the next video.